All right, y'all, let's talk about Squid Game and what I think is the best episode out of the entire show. If you never watched Squid Game, I suggest you give it a chance. I was kind of unsure myself if I wanted to watch it or not. When I first saw it on Netflix, I was like, what in the Katniss Everdeen is this? But I ain't gonna lie, it was a video made by RDC World that made me want to watch it. They did like a comedy parody of it. I didn't know anything about it, I didn't watch any trailers. I saw that parody and I was like, okay, some killing involved, I may give it a chance. And the first episode, it starts off kind of slow, but when the action happens, it doesn't stop until the end of the series. If you're not good with like blood and gore, this may not be the show for you, but this show is pretty violent, but it has some emotional elements in there that'll tug at your heart sometimes. But yeah, when it comes to the violence, it reminds me of Spartacus. I think the Stars TV series Spartacus. And the shows are kind of similar in a way where it puts a group of people from different walks of life in this one place and they had to fight to the death. It kind of puts like human beings in situations they normally wouldn't be in. So it's kind of fun to see how they would act in like life or death situations when it's family involved or close friends, enemies, working with enemies, stuff like that. That's very interesting to me. So if all that sounds good to you, go ahead and check it out. But this video, I'm gonna review the episode, like I said, is what I believe to be the best episode of the series. So this is your warning. If you want to go ahead and watch it, please don't continue to watch this video unless you want the show spoiled for you, because there's going to be a lot of spoilers at this point going on. So here's your chance. Go ahead. I mean, you can come back. You can come back when you watch the show. Come back. I'll be right here waiting for you. Gganbu. So Gganbu is the title of the episode, and Gganbu is the game that they're playing, or a different variation of the game that they're. What makes this episode so great, because up to this point, we see everybody, they're like in a group of like 5 or 6. So everybody's like in this big group working together. So when they start grouping in these small groups, I'm thinking to myself, well, it's only going to be one winner. So it's going to come to a point where, okay, it's going to get real. People are going to get stabbed in the back. It's 2 brothers that's in the show up until this point. So I'm like thinking, okay, like one of these brothers aren't going to make it. And it gets so hard to watch. It gets so emotional. I'm not afraid to admit, I did shed a tear at one scene of this episode. See the main character paired with the old guy. They've been buddy throughout the whole series, so of course they're gonna get paired together. The 2 girls that's in the group, they're paired together. There's the girl that's the original member of the group, and the new girl that joined the group recently. We see the brother of this guy here, the smart guy in the group, paired with the group considers the strongest guy of the group. So far, what we know about the main character, he did some shady stuff, but it seems like he may be a good person. It's like he's mostly a good person, but there's some sprinkle of shady stuff that he's been doing throughout the episode. So you're kind of unsure if he's a good person or not. Most of the time it seems like a good person, but again, it seems like if he has to choose himself or somebody else, he's going to choose himself. When it comes to the smart guy, his brother, we already know he's not a good guy. When they had to play the game, when they picked the shapes and they had to stretch out the shapes in the cookie, he had a choice to help his brother and his other teammates, but especially his brother, which is kind of cold. So he had a choice to help his brother, but he chose not to. That right there lets you know, okay, this guy, he's not being himself when he's around the group or when he's talking to the group, but his true attention, he's all about himself. The girl lead, the female lead, she's kind of like, well, I won't say she's like the main character. She's seems more of a good person than the main character, but she just has a lot of walls up. In this episode, we learned a lot about her, and this, I'm going ahead and tell you, this is the scene, like the last scene with these two, that's what actually made me shed a tear. And it's like we're taking a deep dive into these characters. And as the episode goes along, we learn more and more and more about the true intentions of these characters. And it's very interesting to see these people open up. We see the main character get sunned. I feel like that was supposed to be the tearjerker in the episode, but maybe to some of you guys it was, but to me it wasn't, because I kind of saw that coming. But yeah, the main character, he got sunned. The old guy basically kind of taught him a life lesson. The old man used that as a chance to say, okay, nah, this isn't how you treat an actual friend. This punk right here, this punk, the smart guy, he already made up his mind. Like he's in it for the money and he doesn't care about anybody else. But we see for the first time he had no choice but to show his true colors. Then after this episode, we see even more. It's like after this episode, he's like, forget it. Like, I don't have to hide anymore. My girl here, this was the tearjerker of the episode. These two right here. So the outsider girl, the girl that's new to the group, she basically kind of just says she wants to talk, and she talks about her family, how she basically, I think she murdered somebody. I think it was her stepdad. I was kind of confused there, I'm not gonna lie, but still it didn't stop me from getting to the story. So she bears her heart out, and it allows her to share parts of her life she doesn't seem like she normally shares with people. So these two develop a connection, and I had to look at the episode to kind of get a refresher of it. But after they bare their soul to each other, tell each other all their secrets, they put it all on the table. In this short amount of time, they got to know each other better than their family members or close friends know them. And throughout the whole thing, man, throughout the whole thing, the girl, she just keeps saying, oh yeah, after we leave here, we need to go get drinks. We need to go drink mimotos or whatever together. And then she kept saying, oh, I forgot. She does this about 2 or 3 times. It didn't seem like a problem or repetitive, because it lets you know how much she wanted just to go hang out with this girl. She wanted a friend, like a best friend with this girl. Finally, they wait till like the last few minutes to play the game. Up to this point, y'all gonna probably think this guy is soft. But now, up to this point, I'm getting teared eyed. Like, I'm saying, oh, like that's real touchy. Like, it didn't get me like I thought it was gonna get me, but that's real touchy. It got my little, eyes a little watery. It cleared up my contacts a little bit. Just cleared up my contacts a little bit. I didn't shed a tear, but cleared up my contacts. But when she just acts like she's about to throw the marble and just drop it, that felt so heavy right there, man. I mean, I don't know, maybe it's just the fact that she seems like she was all in for the money, but it wasn't until she met her and kind of made friends with her that that's what made it heavy. It's like she actually created a friendship in a short time, and there's nothing she can do with it. Like, she had to say bye, and at the end, she was like, I don't know what she said exactly, but she was like, it's been an honor or something like that before she... That right there, man. God, dog. Well, all right, I'll tell you what made me shed a tear, then I end this video. It's like, I feel like all of us want something like that. Of course, we're gonna have like family, family is always gonna be around, but we want that one person we can count on, that we can say, okay, this person is here for me. Like, they're not my blood, but they can be my blood. I think we all want a friend like that, and she was a friend to the main female lead like that. But if they ended this season on this episode, that would have been a killer. Like everybody would be checking for season 2. I love this episode. This is rewatchable worthy right here. Years down the line, I may just watch the season again just to get to this episode. But that's all I got for y'all. Leave me your thoughts. I'm out.